Hey guys, my name is Tina and I'm going to draw my life. Yeah! So, my parents were both born in a city called Tehran, which is in Iran, and mix is Persian. They met there and got married when my dad was 28 and my mama was 18. And pretty much right after, they had my older sister, Farnaz, and all was really good. They always tell me stories of how much they loved it there. Shortly after, when my sister was a couple years old, the revolution happened. And my mom was pregnant with my older brother, and my dad was running his multi-million-dollar company that he started all on his own when he was 22. He is so smart and such an amazing inventor, my dad. Wow. And so anyways, the company made a lot of money and they were doing good and all was dandy. But then, once the revolution started getting a little worse, from what I know, my dad had caught one of his employees stealing, so obviously he fired him. And later on, that same employee joined the regime and came after my dad because he knew he had a lot of money. At that point, Jews had no justice, and my dad knew that he would be thrown into jail or worse, killed, so he had to peace out. And so they did. It wasn't like they had time to really plan anything. Here's my dad with his pregnant wife and his 4-year-old daughter. They each packed one suitcase and got the heck out of there. Everything was left behind. The houses, his company he spent years building, all of his family. And you know, Persians have huge families, and the only life they ever knew and loved was all gone in an instant. It's pretty crazy to think about. It makes me a little sad what they had to go through. But you know, life went on and they fled to Israel. Shortly after, my mom was ready to give birth to her second child in a country that she did not know the language of, so I'm sure that was exciting. And soon enough, here came my older brother. We call him Fred, Farhad, but actually, forget that. I call him Shark. So here he is, out of the oven. Gurgle. So after taking a few years bouncing around Europe, trying to get their green card, going from country to country, they finally were able to land in the USA, America! And 1985 is when I came to the world. And we were living in Beverly Hills, and I write 90210 because no, it's not like the TV show. And growing up, I had a lot of nicknames. Tina Tuna, Tina Turner, Tina, Tiny Tina, Teeny, Toonie, I don't know, whatever the hell it was. There was always something and crappy and what the fuck, whatever. My favorite nickname, though, was definitely Fishy, which came from my brother, and there was 2 reasons for that. One was because I am the only one that can make this certain fish face, and that's the best way I could draw it. But anyways, no one else can do it. And the second one was because every time my brother and I would fight and I would get angry, every time I'd want to hit him, I'd make this really weird fish face, and that was the only way I could hit him, and it was just freaking hilarious and stuck ever since. We even have our own language now. So anyway, when I got a little bit older, that's the time when Michael Jordan was at his prime, and my brother was a big basketball fan. When Jordan's 11th shoe model came out, my brother called every store relentlessly trying to find it, and finally, a couple weeks later, he ended up grabbing a pair, and I looked at them and I was like, nice! And that's when everything happened with shoes for me, and I knew I loved shoes and definitely had to have it a part of my life somehow. Once high school came around, I joined the cheer and dance squad in my first year, and it was really fun, and I don't really tell many people now, but I made a lot of friends and I loved it. And I also got my first job at the computer department at the high school and saved enough money, and by the time I was 16, I bought my own car, and I was the first to get my license, and high school was dandy, and I was proud of myself, and things were going cool. Then came time for college, and I had no clue what I wanted to do. Like, no clue. And so I decided, why not try the local fashion school? So I did, and I went through it, and it was a cool experience. I learned a lot. I was an honor student. I took it really seriously. I scored an internship at D&G. I was so excited. I was working full-time. I just thought everything was going great, and my life was planned out and would never have to worry about it again. Yay! Of course, that's not reality, but in my case, it never came to fruition because my mom suddenly died and my world really fell apart. All of a sudden, I didn't understand life and I didn't know how to function. I was a very sad me and I was so afraid of feelings that I never told anyone other than close friends about my mom's death. And I didn't walk for graduation and I was just heartbroken and I completely was so depressed and ate my feelings away, and it became really big and fat and wasn't comfortable in my own body. And one day I realized I gotta do something, and I finally did. I researched and got a 6-month work visa in London, got a plane ticket, and got the heck out of here. Hello, London. I got there, I got a hostel. I lived in a hostel in bunk beds. There was 4 of us to each room, and I worked the most random job at an ambulance center, and then I used the money I made to have fun, and I met great friends, and I traveled to Spain and Paris and Greece and countries nearby. It opened my eyes and made me feel some happiness again. My time there came to an end eventually, and I came back to LA and I felt somewhat like myself again, and even though I was really missing London, but then I thought, what's next? I know, shoes! The passion that has always followed me, always, that I'm not giving enough credit for. So I just went for it and I started designing freelance, and I got on Twitter and I started tweeting footwear people, and then I just so happened on Mr. Clyde from Inside the Sneaker Box, and he had me blog for him, and so I did that for a while, and after a year of that I decided it's time to do me. I wanted to share all the knowledge I had for shoes and how I think they're so powerful. Both heels and kicks can be so feminine, and pretty much that's how ShoeQUEENDOM was born, and I decided to go for it and start blogging, and so I did. It became everything to me, but as with everything that comes new, it was really hard at first, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I compared myself to a lot of other bloggers, and I cared way too much about what people thought, and so I wasn't really posting a lot and giving the blog attention, and you know, it was really tough and I was hard on myself. I thought I was this total loser and that nobody wanted to read it and there was no purpose of me doing it. But this summer, I truly realized none of that matters. All this blog is me anyway. So this is why I wanted to let you guys a little bit into my world and let you know what I'm all about. And so here we go, new adventures, new beginnings. I'm gonna literally put every shoe thought that goes through my head on that freaking blog. And if you guys love it, let me know. If you hate it, let me know. But either way, this is gonna be a fun road ahead, and it's gonna be what I've always wanted. And I hope that you guys can share it with me because you guys are shoe lovers as well, and I love that. So me and my little fish face are gonna do just that. Thanks so much for supporting me until now. I can't wait to share more with you guys. Thank you.